Right. So have you ever like wandered into an IKEA and like been completely baffled by how they built this like furniture empire on flat pack furniture and a maze that would make like Theseus scratch his head?
Yeah.
It's wild, right?
It is. It's amazing. And you're not alone.
Right.
Like so many people have that experience. And today we're going deep on IKEA. We're doing this awesome transcript on their like business strategies.
Yes.
Get ready to uncover some seriously surprising insights behind their like global dominance in furniture.
Yeah, it's really interesting because they have this kind of like counterintuitive approach to success, right?
They really do. It's fascinating.
We all have that image of like the giant blue and yellow store and like those assembly instructions that feel like you're trying to decipher some ancient runes.
Exactly.
But there's some serious genius at work here. I mean, we're talking about a company pulling in over $40 billion in sales with like 936 million store visits.
Yeah.
From just over 400 stores worldwide.
Yeah, that's the thing that I find most interesting is their scale. If you think about it, those 400 stores, that's nothing compared to like Walmart's 5,000 locations in the US alone.
Yeah.
And yet their revenue rivals some of the biggest players in retail.
Okay, I'm already kind of rethinking my last IKEA trip. But how do they actually do it?
Well,
The transcript highlights 3 main strategies, and we're going to jump into that. The first one, starting with their signature flat pack furniture.
yeah, and on the surface, it's all about cost savings. Flat pack furniture reduces packaging, shipping, storage, and even labor costs because you're doing the assembly.
Yeah, but isn't there more to it than just like the cost?
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's something almost addictive about putting together IKEA furniture. Like, you feel this weird sense of pride when you finally conquer like a Billy bookcase.
Totally, you're so right. And that's the brilliance of the IKEA effect.
Oh, yeah.
By making you assemble the furniture, they actually leverage psychology to increase its perceived value.
What?
You put in the effort, you sweat a little, and suddenly that kind of wonky table that you wrestled with for an hour feels way more valuable than if you just bought it pre-assembled.
So wait, IKEA's like hacking our brains to love their furniture.
Yeah, basically.
That's kind of amazing.
Right.
And it totally explains why I always want to show off my IKEA creations, even if they're a little lopsided.
Right. Well, it's tapping into a psychological principle called effort justification.
Okay.
The more effort we put into something, the more we tend to value it.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So flat pack furniture, brilliant, but sneaky.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the second strategy? The infamously confusing store layout.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, I once spent like an hour trying to just find the exit.
The IKEA maze.
Right.
But here's the thing. It's not an accident. That labyrinthine design is all about guiding you through every department.
Really?
Subtly nudging you toward those impulse buys.
Oh, my gosh.
You walk in for towels.
Yeah.
And 3 hours later, you're leaving with a new lamp, a rug, and some Swedish meatballs.
Okay, hold on. Are you telling me they actually like designed the layout to get me lost? Because it totally works.
Oh.
I always end up with a cart full of stuff I didn't even know I needed.
Yeah, it's a calculated risk for sure. They create this sense of exploration, like turning shopping into an adventure.
Okay.
But they balance it with clear signage, helpful staff, and those strategically placed shortcuts. They want you to explore, but not get totally overwhelmed.
Okay, that makes sense. It's like they're playing a game of like, keep them engaged, but don't make them rage.
Exactly.
Okay. Right.
And then there's the third piece of the puzzle, their use of food.
Yes.
Those iconic Swedish meatballs.
Right.
The $1 cinnamon buns.
Everybody loves those.
They're not just delicious, they're strategic.
I always thought the food was just like a nice bonus, a way to kind of like refuel after a marathon shopping session.
Right. It makes sense. You can't shop on an empty stomach.
Yeah.
But remember, IKEA started in rural Sweden where people would travel long distances to their stores. So offering food was initially about making the trip more convenient.
Okay, that makes sense. But how does that tie into like their global success now?
Well, over time, the food became this core part of the IKEA experience. It attracts customers, keeps them in the store longer, and it creates that family-friendly atmosphere. And let's be real, those super affordable prices create a sense of value that extends beyond just the food.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you grab that $1 cinnamon bun, and suddenly those billing bookcases seem even more affordable.
It's like that halo effect you mentioned earlier.
Yeah.
The cheap food kind of casts this positive glow over the whole brand.
Precisely, IKEA understands that the customer experience is about more than just the product itself.
Okay.
It's about creating a holistic, positive experience that keeps people coming back for more.
So, okay, my mind is officially blown. Flat pack furniture, a maze-like layout, and strategically delicious food.
Right.
Like IKEA has like cracked the code to consumer psychology.
Yeah.
But there's one more piece of this puzzle that we haven't really touched on yet.
Yeah.
Their distinct Swedish identity.
Right. That's a really interesting aspect.
Like you walk into an IKEA and you're just like bombarded with Swedish names. You've got the blue and yellow color scheme.
Yeah.
And of course, those Swedish meatballs.
Of course.
Like it's like you're stepping into a little slice of Sweden.
Right.
You've got the Billy bookcases, the Pongen chairs,
The clip-in.
the clip-in sofa. Even the employees greet you with like a hake.
Yeah.
But do you think that's like a deliberate strategy? Are they intentionally playing up their Swedishness?
I think it's definitely a possibility. There's a certain allure to Scandinavian design and culture,
Yeah.
known for its minimalism, its functionality, and its connection to nature.
Right.
It's seen as modern, stylish, even a bit aspirational.
Yeah, you're right. And it's not just IKEA either. Think about other Swedish brands like Volvo or Spotify.
Right.
They all kind of seem to benefit from this perception of Swedish quality and like innovation.
Exactly. By associating their brand with these positive attributes, they might be tapping into that pre-existing consumer trust and admiration for Swedish design and culture.
So it's not just about like being Swedish. It's about being different, right?
Right.
It's about standing out from the crowd.
Totally.
And IKEA definitely does that.
For
I
sure.
mean, you don't walk into an IKEA and forget where you are.
Yeah, you're not going to forget that.
It's an experience.
Absolutely.
For better or worse.
For sure.
But it would be fascinating to see how they adapt their branding and marketing strategies across different cultures and regions.
Yeah.
Like, do they play up their Swedishness in markets where that's perceived as a positive thing? And do they tone it down in places where it might not resonate as strongly?
It's a great point. It would be like a global IKEA experiment.
This whole conversation has got me thinking about my own IKEA experiences.
Yeah.
I've definitely fallen victim to that IKEA effect.
Of course.
I mean, I've built some seriously questionable furniture in my day.
We all have.
But I still feel this weird sense of pride when I look at those wonky shelves.
It's a testament to the effectiveness of their strategy. They understand how to create a shopping experience that's engaging, memorable, and ultimately successful.
So we've explored IKEA's impressive global scale, those three key strategies: the flat pack furniture, the confusing layout, the strategic use of food.
Right.
And now we've even dissected the role of Swedish identity in their success. What does this all mean for other businesses? Can they learn from IKEA's kind of unconventional approach?
That's the million-dollar question. While IKEA's success is undeniably tied to their specific context and their strategies, there are some valuable takeaways that I think other businesses can consider.
Okay, I'm all ears. What are some lessons from the IKEA playbook?
Well, first and foremost, I think it highlights the importance of understanding your customer.
Right.
On a deeper level, IKEA has clearly mastered the art of tapping into consumer psychology.
Yeah.
Whether it's through the IKEA effect or the allure of those affordable food prices.
So it's not just about selling a product.
Right.
It's about crafting an experience.
Exactly. It's about understanding what motivates your customers, what they value, and how you can create this positive and memorable experience for them.
Think about the emotions you feel when you're in an IKEA.
Yeah.
There's excitement, a sense of discovery,
For sure.
maybe even a little bit of frustration.
Maybe a little.
But ultimately, it's engaging.
It's engaging. That's the point.
And what about their unconventional thinking?
Yeah.
It seems like they're not afraid to kind of challenge the status quo.
Absolutely. Their willingness to break the mold from flat pack furniture to that unique store layout has been instrumental to their success. They've taken risks, but they've done so strategically and with a clear understanding of their target market.
So sometimes going against the grain can actually pay off.
It can.
It's inspiring to see a company like IKEA achieve such massive success by embracing this unconventional thinking.
It definitely challenges that traditional playbook, but IKEA's success proves that sometimes the most innovative solutions lie outside of conventional wisdom.
Okay, that's some great advice. But let's be realistic. Not every business can be IKEA.
Of course.
They have this unique combination of factors that have contributed to their global domination.
Right. Blindly replicating their exact model might not be feasible or even desirable for every company.
Right. But there are still valuable lessons to be learned.
Absolutely.
It's about being creative thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
And finding ways to differentiate yourself in a crowded marketplace.
Exactly. Don't be afraid to challenge those assumptions, experiment with new approaches, and create an experience that resonates with your audience.
Right. So the key takeaways are: understand your customers,
Yes.
embrace unconventional thinking,
Yes.
and create an experience that's both memorable and engaging.
Precisely. And IKEA's success story reminds us that sometimes the most unconventional approaches can lead to the most remarkable results.
It's funny we've been talking about IKEA strategies, but I bet our listener has some IKEA stories of their own.
Oh, I'm sure.
Have you ever, like, emerged from that maze with a tart full of impulse buys?
Yeah.
Or maybe you have, like, a particularly epic tale of, like, furniture assembly gone wrong.
Oh, yeah. I bet there are some hilarious and relatable IKEA experiences out there. It's always fascinating to hear how people navigate those unique shopping environments.
So as we wrap up our deep dive into IKEA, let's leave our listener with a final thought.
Okay.
Something to ponder as they maybe plan their next trip to the land of flat-pack furniture and Swedish meatballs.
I like that.
What if we take this concept of the IKEA effect like a step further?
Okay.
It's not just about assembling the furniture, but about like the entire IKEA experience. The effort you put into like getting there, navigating the store, making those choices, it all contributes to a sense of ownership and satisfaction.
Yeah, it's like you're not just buying furniture, you're investing in a story, your own personal IKEA story.
Well, that's a good way to put it.
And that story, that sense of participation becomes part of the value proposition. It's a reminder that sometimes the most rewarding experiences are those that we actively participate in, those that require a bit of effort and engagement.
That's a brilliant insight. It's like they've tapped into this fundamental human desire to create, to build, to be part of something. And they've cleverly woven that into their entire business model.
Yeah, and by doing that, they've created a brand that's not just about furniture. It's about a way of life, a philosophy of affordability, functionality, and that do-it-yourself empowerment.
Wow, IKEA, you've officially blown our minds. This deep dive has been a revelation. And I have a feeling I'll never look at a flat-pack bookcase the same way again.
Nor a $1 cinnamon bun.
Definitely not those cinnamon buns. All right, folks, that's a wrap on our deep dive into the world of IKEA. We hope you enjoyed the journey and learned a thing or two about this unconventional retail giant. As always, subscribe to our channel, like the video, and comment below. There are also some links in our description that you may find useful. See you on the next episode. Bye-bye.